Hello ladies and gentlemen, MilesGamer856 here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Dead Dungeon, an ultra difficult platformer similar to games like Super Meat Boy and N++. Dead Dungeon is available to purchase on PC, mobile, and the Nintendo Switch for $4.99. I'm going to be splitting the review into 4 different categories: story, gameplay/controls, graphics/music, and where I see untapped potential in the game. Anyways, without further ado, let's hop straight into the video. Story. This first section will be a very quick one, as there isn't much story in Dead Dungeon. There's a cutscene at the start and end of the game, both of which are monochrome, drawn, slightly animated scenes. This style of cutscenes isn't necessarily bad, as it does a good enough job of portraying the story while also staying with the cartoony feel. These cutscenes illustrate a horrible experience in which a devilish character steals the sweets and souls of everybody in the main character's village. The unnamed protagonist is heading to a local donut place when he sees all the lifeless bodies next to the store. The skull-shaped square then approaches a cave in an attempt to find the villain behind the casualties. The player can then control the main character once they reach the cave, and this is where the gameplay starts. Although it's pretty short, I'm satisfied that there is at least some story in this game. I would have been perfectly fine if there was no story, so the fact that there is story and that it's very short does not bother me very much. Gameplay/controls. The overall premise of the game is to defeat all 50 levels one by one. In each level, there is a key which the player has to collect. After they obtain the key, the stage's exit is unlocked, and the player can walk through it to enter the next level. There is also a donut to be found in each level, as well as collectibles scattered throughout the levels. They are not required to collect, but people looking for an extra challenge can try to collect all of the donuts. I think these optional relics are a nice addition, however, I do wish something extra was unlocked once you obtain all the non-mandatory items, as all you get at the moment is a Steam achievement. Adding something such as a new level or a cosmetic change would make it even more rewarding and interesting when a player 100% completes the game. One thing I like the most about this game is the simplicity of the controls. The only moves in the whole game are moving left and right, jumping, and double jumping. This makes Dead Dungeon very easy to understand, while also not taking anything away from the gameplay. Level design itself is also simple, but it gets progressively harder and throws new obstacles at you as you advance the levels. The gameplay may be simple, but don't let that fool you. It is not easy. The developers make clear that the game was intended to be difficult. The levels are all designed to force you to make tight jumps and pinpoint movements. You will die many times, and these constant deaths can definitely frustrate the player. That is why I would not suggest playing this game if you are a casual gamer or a gamer who isn't very good at platformers. Graphics/sound. The graphics in this game are very clean. The art embodies a cartoony but retro style, which I think goes together perfectly with the game's soundtrack to bring a nostalgic experience. The colors also blend together nicely, and I found that the objects in the game have a big enough contrast from the background where I can clearly see them. Now, about the soundtrack. The OST for this game is a collection of chiptune melodies created by artist 8-Bit. The soundtrack gives off a nostalgic vibe while also having an adventurous sort of feeling, which I think perfectly represents the nature of Dead Dungeon. All in all, I think that the graphics and sound are perfect how they are right now. They match the gameplay completely, and there is nothing I would change about it. Untapped Potential. I see one avenue of this game that has potential, and it is speedrunning Dead Dungeon. The game has a leaderboard of your level finishing times, which could be very useful for timing runs of individual levels. Since there is a lot of precise movement in Dead Dungeon, a speedrun of this game could always be further optimized, no matter how good a current speedrun time is. The combination of difficulty and speed would make speedrunning this game a very interesting, and often frustrating, but fun experience. Overall, I do think that Dead Dungeon is a good game that follows the traditional ultra-hard platformer. Although it's definitely not a new concept, I think that Dead Dungeon is a nice compilation of difficult levels that has its own charm to it, and if it's on sale, I definitely recommend checking it out.